Some stories are just meant to scare you, but others, they linger. These 10 short horror tales start simple and end in places you won't expect. So turn the lights off and let's begin. 1. The baby monitor. After her husband died, Emma moved back into her childhood home with her newborn. The baby wouldn't sleep unless Emma played an old lullaby, the one her mother used to sing. One night, the baby monitor came alive with a soft voice. There, Mommy's here." It wasn't Emma's voice. The next day, she asked her father about the lullaby. His face went pale. "Your mother sang that the night she disappeared. You were just a baby." Emma tore apart the nursery looking for interference. Under a loose floorboard, she found a dusty tape recorder, still running. It had a voice on loop. "I'll protect her this time." That night, she woke to her daughter cooing. The monitor was silent, but the lullaby echoed faintly from inside the walls. When she leaned in, she heard her mother whisper, "You're not taking her like you took me." 2. The mirror room. Daniel's new apartment came with a wall-length mirror that he couldn't remove. He noticed strange things, reflections that lagged, expressions he wasn't making. Curious, he set up a camera to film overnight. At 3:11 a.m., the footage showed his reflection, turning to stare at the camera while Daniel slept soundly. The next night, he covered the mirror with a blanket. At exactly 3:11, the blanket slowly peeled away. Then the reflection stepped out of frame, while Daniel's body didn't move at all. The next morning, Daniel was gone, but the mirror still showed someone in the room. It was just no longer him. 3. The whisper. Man Kyle kept hearing knocks on the walls at 2:59 a.m., followed by whispers. "You left me here." He moved apartments. Hotels. Still it followed. Always 2:59 a.m., always 3 knocks. Then one night, the voice changed. Under the floor. Terrified but desperate, he pried open the wood beneath his bed. A small metal box. Inside, an old hospital bracelet. His name was on it. He called his mother. She broke down. "You had a brother, stillborn. We never told you. You were too young." Kyle remembered nothing. But now the whisper had a name. "I waited 30 years, it said. You got the life. I got the dirt." The next night, there were no knocks. Just a faint creak under the floorboards, like someone crawling up from below. 4. The last farewell. Ella worked at a retirement home and bonded with an old man named Walter, who claimed he'd lived many lives. On his final night, he smiled at her and said, "I'll see you again, sooner than you think." He died peacefully. She attended the funeral. Life moved on. 2 weeks later, she received a voicemail from an unknown number. Static. Then Walter's voice. "I'm here now, still waiting." She checked the number. It was registered to the landline in room 9. Walter's old room, disconnected since his death. When she went back to check, the staff said room 9 had already been reassigned. But inside, the room was empty, except for a note on the bed. "Told you I'd see you again." 5. The doll collector. Mason inherited his grandmother's Victorian home and her collection of antique dolls. He boxed most of them up, but one kept appearing on his desk each morning, a glass-eyed figure in a blue dress. He tried throwing it away. It came back. He burned it. It returned, perfectly intact. One night, he left a camera running. At 3:07 a.m., the footage showed the doll lifting its head. The next frame cut to black. Mason vanished that night. When police searched the house, they found the blue-dressed doll sitting neatly on his desk, now holding a tiny camera in its hands. 6. The passenger. On his last route of the night, a bus driver noticed a pale woman sitting at the back, motionless. He stopped at every station, but she never moved. At the final stop, he called out, "End of the line, miss." She stared straight ahead. He walked back to speak to her, but the seat was empty, just cold and damp, like someone had been sitting in a wet coat. Later, reviewing the bus cam footage, he saw her clearly, except she wasn't on the bus at all. She was walking behind it, following. Every mile. 7. The guest book. Lena and her boyfriend rented a remote cabin for a weekend away. On the table sat a dusty guest book. Most entries were normal, except one. She doesn't like visitors. Later that night, Lena noticed new handwriting on the page. Don't go near the mirror. There was no mirror in the cabin. At least there hadn't been. The next morning, her boyfriend found an antique mirror propped against the wall. It hadn't been there before. When Lena looked into it, she saw herself. But behind her, a woman with a sunken face stared back. The guest book now read, "She comes through the glass. Don't blink." That night, the mirror cracked. Not from the outside, from the inside. 8. The forgotten twin. Jason always felt like something was missing. Flashbacks, nightmares. A sibling he couldn't remember. His parents brushed it off. In the attic, he found a trunk, 2 baby blankets, and a photo, his mother holding 2 infants. Only one was him. She finally confessed, "You had a twin. He didn't survive the surgery. We buried it." That night, Jason dreamt vividly. A hospital room, a cold scalpel, a voice whispering, "You were supposed to go, not me." He awoke sweating, and the photo was on his nightstand, except now only one baby was in it. The other was gone. Downstairs, the living room mirror held 2 reflections, both Jason, one smiling. 9. The sleep app. Nora downloaded a sleep tracker that recorded sounds at night. Curious, she played back the clips the next morning. One stood out. A whisper right next to her mic. Still breathing. Not for long. She laughed it off. Maybe a glitch. But the next night, the app caught something else. Footsteps. Her closet door opening. Breathing. Whispering again. Closer tonight. She lived alone. Terrified, she tried sleeping with the lights on. That night, no sounds were recorded, except one final whisper. "Turn the lights off, Nora." The app had spoken her name. She never entered it. 10. I shouldn't have answered. I bought a burner phone at a flea market for fun. Just €5. No SIM card. When I powered it on, one message blinked. Answer when it calls. Weird, right? I left it in a drawer. That night it rang. No number. Just unknown. Curious, I picked up. A child's voice whispered, "You finally answered." I hung up. The phone rang again, and again, until 3:33 a.m. I answered just to scream into the receiver. The voice said, "I'm outside now." Then my actual phone buzzed. Photo received. It was me, sitting in my bed, taken from the hallway. I rushed to the door. Locked. No one outside. But when I looked at the burner phone again, the call was still active. The timer was counting up. Not seconds, hours. If you're still watching, you're one of the few who made it to the end. Which story gave you chills? Drop your favorite in the comments. And if you enjoy strange, unsettling, or unforgettable top 10s, hit subscribe. There's always more to come.